book of Deuteronomy. Okay, if you remember what this book is all about, this book is written to the new generation of the Hebrew people after the previous generation were too scared to enter into the promised land. And so God had them wander in the wilderness for another 40 years until that generation died off. And now we have the new generation, the new up-and-comers. But before they enter, they have to go over a few things. Hence the book of Deuteronomy. The instruction, Moses' instruction to the people before they enter into the promised land. And chapter 30, today's first reading, Moses presents to the people door number 1 and door number 2. Door number 1, Moses says, I set before you life and prosperity. Sweet. Door number 2, death and doom. As we read the book of Joshua and the book of Judges and 1st and 2nd Samuel and 1st and 2nd Kings, what door do you think the Israelites are going to pick? Death and doom. If you pick door number 1, you just have to obey the commandments of the Lord your God, loving him, walking in his ways, keeping his statutes and decrees. If you pick door number 2, you'll do so by turning your hearts away and not listening, and be led astray and adored and serve other gods. That's how you pick the doors. So the question then we have to ask ourselves then is, why would they pick the second door? This morning, faithfully, so far so good, I did the Thursday after Ash Wednesday in the Lenten Companion series. Okay, maybe some of you have done it already, or maybe you're going to do it later on today. I don't want to spoil it too much for you. But ultimately the question in our deeper look, our deeper reflection is, why do we choose sin? Why do we choose it? And the answer in short is that we think it's desirable. We think it's desirable. That's why we choose it. And so what is it about the people in the Old Testament, and what is it about us, if we're honestly reflecting on ourselves? Why do we keep choosing the door of death and doom? Why? And I think this has just a lot to do with, in times of crisis and in times of suffering, we often just grab the easy answer. We just go after, the quick fix. It's right there in front of us, and we just go for it. Again, I don't want to spoil it too much for you, but he's going to give the analogy in the Lenten Companion about fishing. Here is a plastic lure on a metal hook, and yet the fish go after it. Why? Because it looks good. It looks good. So as we continue on with the Lenten series, as we continue on the season of Lent, we are often presented with two options in life, virtue or sin. And we're going to continue to pray, continue to ask God's divine grace, his divine assistance, most definitely, to look beyond just the quick fix, the quick pleasure, to look and to turn to him. And especially in times of trials and suffering, that's when we sin the most. When we're in a desperate situation and we're struggling and we're stressed out and we're angry and we're lonely, whatever it is, all those conditions, that's when we just kind of look at the dangling hook in front of us and go and grab it. And so now during the season of Lent, we're going to ask with God's divine grace to look beyond the hook and to choose the life which God wishes to give us, the life of virtue, the life of life and prosperity. May God bless you.